searching the value in your work is super important. It's like, I think it's the only thing that should be in people's heads, like develop as an artist and create some kind of value. And it could be anything, like you could be a painter and maybe your value is that you create these paintings with mainly one color and they fit very well in people's living rooms, because if they have the couch is purple and you make a purple painting, it will work. So, that is value. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a traitor to yourself and do something that you don't want. Precisely the opposite. Do something that you want, but try to find the value in it.
Okay.
So this is what I would say to all young people starting is like, try to find your value. What is you can bring to the table?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. This one is quite special today. My guest is an amazing artist with a huge career. He's Spanish-born, but currently lives and works in Japan. I might mispronounce the name of the city, but Karuizawa, is that correct, Luis?
Yeah, it's perfect. You did
Okay,
very,
welcome
very well.
to the show.
I thought you were going to say the place where I was born. I thought, you have to know how to say Salamanca.
Salamanca, yes. Yes, you were from Salamanca and now in Japan. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And, it's very funny because you are, where are you from exactly?
I am from Bosnia, but I live in Madrid, yeah.
Right. So you live in my country and I live in Japan.
Yes, and you live on the other side of the world. That's
We are making a cocktail of all nationalities and I loved it. I love it so much. Yes.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I loved in many of your interviews, you said that you are completely in love with Tokyo.
Yes.
And that's how I feel about Madrid. It's like I've been to so many cities but it doesn't feel like home like Madrid does. So I can.
Yeah. Well, Madrid is great. I mean, like Madrid is a fantastic city. I lived there for 2 years when I was in study. Yeah, no, I understand. And, it's funny because I love Tokyo and still love Tokyo, but I moved 1 year ago to Karuizawa, which is like 1 hour from Tokyo, because the Tokyo summers are very challenging.
Okay.
And we have a small child and we thought it's better if we leave, but still keep going back and forth all the time. And yeah, I still love it. I mean, it's to be honest,
it's still a huge part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned a small kid. Your daughter is starting school or just started school?
Yes, started school. She's 6, and very beautiful. It's very interesting because if you live in a country like I'm living in Japan for almost 14 years now, and you think that you know something, but then through the eyes of my child, and by bringing the child to kindergarten and then to school, I am learning so much more about Japan, like how they are grown up, like how they are taught at school, how they behave. It's kind of controlled, like for our, Western way of thinking. It would be like, oh, the poor children, they are not allowed anything, and they are rules. But in fact, I don't know. It makes them very. The children become very good at doing things in an intentional way and doing things, staying in the present. So they have like a very strict schedule, like, 9 o'clock you do this, 10 o'clock you do that. And the way they do everything is very methodic. So, folding a towel, it has to be a certain way.
Oh,
and for us Westerners, it's like, oh, poor children, let them be. But yeah, I am in that balance. Like, okay, in a way, yes, I agree. You have to give freedom to the children, but on the other hand, I can see the benefits of having a structure for kids, and also prepare them to be more better at doing things in a very present way. I see the benefits of it. It's very interesting, as a father of a child in a different country. I'm learning a lot every day, so which is good.
Okay. Yeah, we started with this personal part. You had your first kid in the Netherlands, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
worked in Netherlands for so many years, and before that, you studied in Spain. I kind of didn't want to go through that,
That's it.
business introduction because a lot. I will post it in the post when the podcast goes live. But what I'm interested is how different is to raise a child in
Mm.
Netherlands comparing to Japan.
It's very interesting. So, in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, you can imagine my son,
Yes.
he's now 27, but when he was born, I
Okay.
got him to school, which was like 5 minutes from my house on the bicycle. And then, because everyone bikes in the
Yeah.
Netherlands. And from the house to the school, we passed three different coffee shops. Like we, passed by.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was surrounded by all this, freedom and smoke, hash, pot, or whatever you call it, marijuana. And just to give you an idea of the difference,
Okay.
now I have this other child, my daughter, and I brought her to kindergarten in Tokyo. And it was like the opposite. It was like flowers and pots with fish. And we walked very slowly. And, it's very, very different. So, in that
Okay.
sense, you can feel the difference between the cultures. Um, in that sense, the main difference between Japanese culture and Dutch culture, I think, is, in my view, Dutch culture is very individualistic. People think very much about themselves and not as a group, while
Okay.
Japan is the opposite. In Japan, you don't think about yourself almost ever, and you think as a group. So whatever you do, you always think, oh, is this good for the group or not? If I start shouting in the street or throw a paper on the floor, you think, well, other people won't like it, so I don't do it. While
Okay.
in the Netherlands, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
um, well, yeah, I can tell you like thousands of details and anecdotes and moments where I think, okay, this is the big difference. But yeah,
Okay.
after 20 years in Amsterdam, I was kind of, okay, I'm done with this. I'm ready for something different. And Japan couldn't be more different. Like, it's like really different.
Yeah,
Uh,
you couldn't pick like a more different country, I guess as well.
Culturally wise, is like the opposite in so many ways. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
But you worked in the Netherlands for like almost 20 years before you took a sabbatical of 3 months, and then those 3 months spent in Tokyo, just going to cafes, drawing, and doing your art.
yeah.
At what moment did you actually decide to move permanently to Japan? What was the situation? What was the exact second you knew you want to live there?
No. So I did a sabbatical because my dad passed away, and I thought, why did my dad die? And it was mainly like stress became a health problem, and the health problem brought in death. And I look at my life when he passed away. You start reflecting on many things, and I looked at my life and I thought, I'm doing exactly the same as my dad. I'm unhappy. I'm stressed. I am not in a place I want to be. And so I decided to go to Japan for a sabbatical. And in the moment that I boarded the plane, I was already in love with Japan. I think I've said this in many interviews.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
I've read
was
that.
really true. I was still in a Schiphol in Amsterdam, but in the plane, which was a Japanese airline. And I was like, oh, this is great. It was so clean and so beautiful, and everybody was so nice, and the smell and the music, and it was like the food. And it was like, okay, this is amazing. So when I landed in Japan, 15 hours later, 12 hours later, I fell immediately in love because it was so calm. It was so stress
Okay.
free. And I heard this about many people who has visited Japan for the first time. And they always say like, it's the only place in the world where I can feel safe, and I can feel, I don't feel stress. So
Okay.
that was when I arrived, I already thought that this is a great place. But after 3 months of the sabbatical, I came back to Amsterdam, And then it was culture shock because I went back to my old life. And it was like, oh man, I can't handle this. Like, this is so bad. So I
Okay.
spent 4 years actually
Yes.
trying to accommodate to Amsterdam again. And it was so hard. And also in that time, in those 4 years, they were crucial in Holland. Certain things happen politically. The people, the populism start to rise. People start to be even more individualistic.
Okay.
And, like all my life, I lived in Amsterdam, and no client will be late. An appointment was an appointment. I arrived in the Netherlands, from Spain, and I thought, well, I'm Spanish, I can be 15 minutes late. No. But
Okay.
those last 4 years that I was in Amsterdam and thinking about moving to Japan, every single client was late to my appointment. Every single one.
Wow.
And I was like, this country has changed so much. And I don't know, Max Kisman? Max Kisman,
No.
well, he's a designer, a graphic designer, and illustrator from the Netherlands. And I
Okay.
told him, I said, well, Holland, this and that. And he was like, well, I lived in LA for a long time. And I had the same feeling when I came back to the Netherlands. But actually, maybe the country has changed, but also you have changed. And I thought, well, might be the case. I have changed. I think the country has changed a lot, but okay, it might be me too. So, either way, I choose happiness, and I try happiness, and I try to find an environment where I feel better myself,
Okay.
because I don't want to be like my father. Whatever my father was stressed. Why he was stressed? 1,000 reasons. But try to find. You don't have to move. It could be anything, but try to change your environment, try to change your circumstances, so that you are a better person and a happy person.
Yeah.
And that is what moved me to decide, like, I'm going to try Japan for first. So what I did for 4 years, I was fishing clients in Japan. So I would just send emails to everybody I had met. And I said, oh, you have a company? Do you want a new logo? If you pay my ticket, I'll go to Japan and make you a logo for free, just in exchange for a ticket. So that way I got tickets, I got apartments, I got, new connections. And that's how I became a creative director for Pechakucha organization. You know Pechakucha?
Yes.
So, I said, just give me a contract so I can get there and get a visa. And in exchange, I will do design for you. So that was the payment. And in that way, I carved my way into Japan and moving to Japan in a easy way. I was also very lucky because in Amsterdam, I was successful enough that I could make a lot of money, and I was saving everything. So the first couple of years, I didn't need to think too much about money. And that helped a lot as well. So this is how it went.
Yeah,
so I made it too long, right?
No, I love it actually, because it goes, it's quite similar for me in Madrid. And I figured that out when I was researching about you, because back in Bosnia, I've said this on my podcast before, I had a design agency of around 15 people at one point. And as you said, at one point, it just was too stressful to really just be managing people, managing projects, and not doing the design thing, And then I went to, and I think 2015, 16 maybe, for a vacation in Madrid, like just for a vacation for a couple of days. And as soon as I landed here, like I knew, okay, this is where I want to spend like the next years of my life.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I mean, and during this period of 8 years now, and 8.5, I've moved for a year in Barcelona because my husband got a job there and we went there. But whenever we came back to Madrid, like to visit friends, to do something, Madrid always felt more like home. And then again, we came back from Barcelona like a year ago. So it's just like feels so different. I
You
would
know
say,
why?
as you
No?
felt. Sorry.
Do you know why?
Um, I
You know
think
what Madrid
it's
is more welcoming than Barcelona?
it is definitely. I would say that Madrid is way more welcoming. Way, I don't know. It has that, even though it's way bigger city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tourists and everything, but it just feels, I don't know. I would say everything is slower in
Mm.
Madrid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of, even though I'm saying like 6 million in Comunidad, and still it feels slower and calmer, and that's the energy I wanted. So
Yeah. You know, Madrid, so Madrid, as you know, the capital of Spain was Toledo, which is a big
yes,
city.
yes.
And there was a new king, I don't remember which one, and he just was against the old king, and he said, I'm going to make Madrid the capital.
Okay.
Madrid had nothing. So Madrid comes from the Arab Margarit, which means
Yes.
right, a fountain of water, well. And everybody thought this guy is crazy. Well, we're gonna Madrid. It's not even a river. It's like a city river with very little water.
Yeah.
And they had to import everybody from all over Spain. They had to bring people to build the new capital. And that is what makes Madrid so welcoming, is that it's been like that historically. It's been welcoming people. And, you know, it doesn't matter where it's a bit like New York in a way, you know, that it was built by immigrants, and everybody that came is like, whoa, you know, come in, join in. And
Yeah.
if you ask some people, like, okay, you are from New York, but where are you actually, like, your parents from? Everyone is from outside Madrid or from
Yeah.
New York. And that is what I also like that of Tokyo. Tokyo is the same. Tokyo, everybody's
Okay.
from Osaka, Okinawa, Hokkaido, you know, all over Japan and overseas as well. But we are all from outside. So the thing is, like, we are all welcome. And that's the beauty of Madrid. Barcelona,
Yeah.
a different story. You can read Eduardo Mendoza. I recommend you. He wrote very good books about Barcelona, and he tells a
Okay.
lot about the history. So the La Ciudad de los Prodigios, the city of prodigies, is a story that spans 100 years from one Universal Expo to the next. So
Okay.
end of the 19th century to the end of the 20th century, I think it was. And it's very beautiful way of explaining how Barcelona works, and how when you come to Barcelona, you work for someone. You work for one of the
Okay.
families that have been there forever. And you are not part of it the same way as you are part of Madrid. Madrid, you come, and I'm so sorry because I have many friends in Barcelona. I lived there 2 years, but I never felt part of the city. While in Madrid, I arrived, and like 1 week later, I was part of it. And this is
Yeah. Absolutely.
just a key
Absolutely. I
difference.
mean, I have the same feeling. And as you said, I have friends in Barcelona, and it's a beautiful city.
Oh, no, it's lovely.
The
Lovely.
architecture is like
Yeah.
out of this world and everything, but Madrid just feels like home. So yeah.
You know Loquillo Los Trogloditas is a band, a Spanish band.
Yes.
So one of I think the bassist or the guitar guy, he is a very intellectual. I forget his name now. He's a great intellectual, and
Okay.
he wrote a book about growing up in Barcelona in the 80s, and how he would escape Barcelona as soon as he could. So he would
Oh,
escape to France, or to Paris mainly, or to Madrid. And, when I read it, I was very surprised because, it's like, why do you escape Barcelona? But it is interesting to understand the history of the places. And nothing bad about Barcelona. Barcelona is great, and people is
yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
It's a capital of design. It's been better than Madrid for many years. But, it just comes closer to your heart. And that's good,
That's true.
It's good that not everybody
Absolutely.
goes to the same place. It's good that we are
Yeah.
spread. Sorry,
That's
I don't
true.
want to.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you lived in Madrid for 2 years
Yes.
during studying design and, well, first illustration, then design.
Yeah.
And then very soon you moved to Barcelona for 2 more years, right?
Yeah, I think I was 2 in Barcelona after Madrid. Yeah, 2 in Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay. And then you spent 20 years in Amsterdam being an amazing art director and doing work for so many big companies, having your own company as well. So,
Well, I don't think it amazing, but amazing work. It was just okay work. The thing
no,
is,
we all say that about our own work. Yeah.
no, but it was
But
very
it's,
specialized because I was specialized in magazine design. And in
yes,
Amsterdam, there are not many people doing only magazine design. That's why, you know, very quickly it's like, I'm always when
you
people say you're
became,
famous,
yeah,
when,
yeah.
when people say you're famous, I always say, yeah, I'm famous in my home. In my home, everybody knows me. My cat knows me, my wife knows
Yeah.
me. So it's the same. It's what was Stefan Sackmeister once said, like being a famous designer is like being a famous plumber. Like all the
Uh,
plumbers know each other, and then it's like, oh
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah, that's true.
outside our little world, like we are not famous at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, well,
yeah,
that's true. I mean, if we ask anyone outside of design world, most of the people will not know about any
right?
one of us. So that's completely true.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you mentioned, I will just stop here. You mentioned the cat.
Mm.
You have uh, still alive, I guess. I haven't seen new photos.
Sleeping under my bed at the moment.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Senor, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. No, I
yeah.
love that. And he has his own profile, but I haven't seen recent pictures. So yeah.
No, we are very bad at updating his Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we
He's a
try.
bit lazy, I guess.
He's always sleeping. Yeah, he's a very boring
Oh,
cat
okay.
because you cannot take photos of him sleeping. No, he's a
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
nice guy. Yeah, yeah. We call him Senor because we thought, okay, Mister or Mister Cat. I said, no, it's called Senor Neko. So Neko is cat in Japanese. But I thought
Okay.
that's too long. Let's call him just Senor. And then it was fine.
Senor.
Yeah,
Okay.
Senor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
And I mean, his Instagram profile reads that he was the art director of your studio and for where you hosted other people, and Almost
Mm.
Perfect in Tokyo. That is closed now, but what kind of experience was it to actually welcome new people to Tokyo, to Japan, and to
Mm.
actually make them, in a way, live what you lived when you moved there?
Yeah. So yeah, so the story is very shortly told. 6, 7 years ago, we rented a house to live in, and the house was too big. And we thought, okay, we have an extra room. What can we do with the room? We didn't have a child yet, so we thought, okay, why don't we have artists coming over and staying there and make some work? And downstairs it was like a big room, so we thought we can use that as a gallery, and that's how it started. We call it Almost Perfect. And we invite not invited, but we just opened the doors to all creatives that wanted to come to Japan and stay with us, and that was fantastic. We did it for 6 years, and it was great. The thing is, I was already established as an illustrator back then, but having been an art director, a creative director for 20 years, you're so used to work with people all the time and see new people coming in and out. Photographers, illustrators, writers, editors. You have that editorial feeling, and I was kind of missing it. So
Oh,
I
okay.
thought, let's do something that the people come and we have new friends every month. So my wife and I, we started that, and my wife did all the serious important stuff like money planning, all the thing, and I was just the funny guy. I'm a clown, and I,
Okay.
you know, making
Okay.
MC in the parties and doing creative direction for the artists if they needed some leading in what the project they were doing. And it was really, really nice to see they came in and all excited. I'm in Japan, and especially if it was the first time. And it was very, very fun to show them the city a little bit and to tell them, oh, you want to buy some pens? Oh, you have to go to that shop. Oh, you want to buy this? Or you want to see that? So yeah, it was a very fun time. But I can tell you, after 6 years, we were kind of done. Like,
Oh, okay.
it wears on you, especially because I keep, we both keep our jobs next to it. So I was doing my illustration work next to it, and my wife, she's a director of an NGO for sustainable fashion. So she's
Yes.
also very busy, and we had a child. And then the house, which was very old, was 100 years old, started to need some reparations. And we thought, okay, we've done it 6 years. That's fine. Let's move
Okay.
on. And we keep the name, and we might do something else with it in the future. We don't know yet.
Okay.
That's the idea. But it was super fun. It was, and we have like friends now. The people who stayed with us, they are now friends. And I would recommend to everybody, if they can, to do a creative residence or artist in residence, if they can, because they are fantastic. It's a great way to, discover a city, to get influenced by different culture, different environment. It's safe. It's not, you're not moving there, but you're just going for a month or a few weeks. So it's really recommendable. Something that I recommend everybody to try to do. And there is
Okay.
everything. There is for painters, but also sculptures, dancers. There's everything. We did in our Almost Perfect. We did everybody, like everybody creative. So we had even
Wow.
entrepreneurs. We had programmers, like coders, dancers, musicians, sculptors, everything. But normally the artist in residencies are normally more concentrated, like only painting or only. You have to find your own, or
Yeah.
or even better, what we did, because we were closing, we decided to write a book about doing your own. So imagine you come to Japan and you just rent an Airbnb and buy with our book, which is like, I don't know, 12 euro or something we charge for it. And it's kind of like a guide to do it yourself, because we thought so many people told us like, oh, we are so disappointed that you closed and we wanted to come. I said, okay, we write a book, just do it yourself. Here's the
Yeah.
addresses and here's the way we do it, and you can do it
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I just wanted to mention that you have a book about it, so
Right.
everyone who wants to give it a try
Yeah.
can do it. I will definitely post the link in
Thank
the
you.
show notes for sure,
Mm,
and it's definitely an interesting thing. But
yeah.
you also, I mean, there's so many things in your career that we could talk
Yeah.
about, and
I'm an old man.
well,
Alan, I'm an
no,
old
come
guy.
on, no,
Yes.
not,
Yes.
no, no.
You can't
Especially not
believe
in
I'm so old.
Japan. I mean, they are like the nation with very old people. So you are
Yes.
kind of youngster there.
Japan and Spain, the people with the
That's
countries with
true,
the longest
right?
life expectancy.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So
We cannot
not
die.
old at all. Yeah. But what I wanted to talk is like from all the things you did, and it's such a, I mean, rich career.
Thank you.
Is actually your current project, well, one of the main ones. It's Mundo Mendo.
Yes.
It's a subscription for your own stories and illustrations and your views. Everyone can get online and everyone gets a book. The book number one is, yes, an absolutely wonderful book, I have to say. From what I've read so far,
Thank you.
it's really, really cool.
Mm.
And as I said before, before we started recording, it kind of gives you a way to have something creative, something new every day without the scroll of Instagram, of other social apps, and it's all done by you, illustrations, texts, and everything.
Mm.
Can you tell me why? I mean, I can understand why the urge to create something like that, but what made you even go in that direction?
Mm. Like, there was a moment where I realized that as illustrators and most creators, what we are doing is creating salami. So you have Instagram or any other social media, and you have advertising, salami, advertising. It's like a sandwich, and the
Yeah,
advertising is the bread, dry and disgusting, and the salami is the good stuff, right? So we are actually creating the good stuff in the social media, and it goes for everything, Twitter or Instagram or
yeah, yeah,
Threads. And I thought, why am I doing this? Why am I making a drawing and just to put it on Instagram, because otherwise probably I won't do much more with it, and giving my money, so that the money that this creates goes to Mr. Zuckerberg. I thought, this is stupid. Like, where's the point? Like, of course, when you're starting, you probably do it for the likes and for the followers. But to be honest, like, I don't think that has any value. Like, there is no value in having many followers.
Yeah,
For me,
absolutely.
it's just empty. So I thought, no, I'm so done with this. I'm so tired of working for Mr. Zuckerberg. So because I have been working in magazines and editorial projects, newspapers, and all kinds of editorial projects for years, and I have put always my energy into somebody else's projects. And comes a new guy and says, "Oh, we are going to do this title, and it's a great magazine, and this and that." And I thought, okay, I know how to do that, but I don't want to do it for yet another client. I want to do it for myself. So I started looking for alternatives. And my friend Craig Mott, he was running his special projects membership program. And I thought, yeah, that would be amazing. But of course, Craig, he's a great guy, but he's super clever. Like he builds things, digital. He's a programmer, he's a designer, he writes, he takes photos. I thought, I can't do that like that. So I tried to find my way into what to use, what kind of software and what way to use. And I spent 1 year doing kind of research and trying different systems.
Wow.
So, WordPress and Patreon and Substack and you name it. There are many ways to do it. And at the end, I chose for Ghost. Ghost is kind of like WordPress, but it's like a nonprofit. They have no investors, no stakeholders, and they are just a club of people that are really, really nice people. I know of them later on. I met some of them in person.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
have friends with them, and they are like really okay club. They are really nice people. Anyway, they made this software which you can use to publish, kind of like Substack, but without all the bullshit, and you can host it
Oh,
in your
okay.
own server. So if you host it in your server, it's free. If you leave it in their server, you pay to
Okay.
to maintain the server, which is, fair. It's like, yeah, I've been claiming for years, I want to pay Instagram not to have ads and not to have
Yeah.
use my data, let me pay you. I pay you if you want, but they don't want that. They prefer to,
Oh,
manipulate you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
these guys are the opposite. They are like, no, we don't touch your stuff. Your stuff is yours. And if you leave it in our server, we'll pay. Okay. So that's what I've done. And I've been running it for 1.5 years. And I started, some interviews with a friend and some sketches here and some little stories there. And as I was building the archive of stories, also my way of drawing developed and my way of working on it developed. And it's so beautiful because you're really growing something from zero and it grows by itself. It's almost like an organic thing. So you can see it when you buy the book, I think you can see it very well that there is a progression and there is like stages on the amount of pages and the kind of the subjects I choose, etc. And anyway, when I was half a year through building this thing, I thought maybe it would be nice to have a book that people can touch and hold. And I did some research, and it wasn't that expensive. And I thought, heck, it's just money. Let's do it. And if it doesn't sell, that's fine. And I made the book. It took me some time because I had to convert everything that was only for
Yeah.
digital for the screen. I had to make it into page. Thank God I'm a designer, so I know how to
Yeah,
design a
you
book.
knew how to do it.
Yeah. And then I just printed 1,000 of them. So they are all numbered and signed by me from 1 to 1,000. And I sold most of it. Like you can see here, there's like 320 left. 340
Okay.
left of the 1,000. And then a couple of months ago, I decided, you know what? Everybody that becomes a member should have the book. Because you're a member, you're paying me to draw, which is a complete honor. I think it's fantastic. And I want to give them something. And I don't think that access to the website is enough. And I can see in the statistics that not everybody that gets the newsletters, they go and read the whole thing. So I thought, no, I want to do something else for them because I'm very grateful for them paying me to draw. So I just, every year they get a book, which is, I think, a great way.
So
And some people say,
no, go on.
Yeah. Some people say, I don't care about the newsletters, just I want to support you. Other people say, "Oh, I love the newsletters and I read all of them," and they comment. Other people say, "I just send me the book. I don't need. Don't send me newsletters." That's fine. Everybody has. But the big difference is that they are all in contact with me, and it's very personal. So if people order a book or become a member and get a book, I just wrap it myself. I fill in the form for the post office, and I bike to the post office. I bicycle through rain and sun to the post office to ship it to the people. And if it doesn't arrive, they can write to me. And the whole thing is so personal and so intense and so beautiful that people are really, I think they're very touched, but I'm also super touched that I'm able to do it. And I'm very happy that it worked out this way. And as I say, it took me a while to find the best way. And I think I would recommend to all creatives to try to find something like that. It could be anything. I know this girl who did postcard club. So, you just give them your address and then they will send you a postcard every month or something. That's so beautiful. A handwritten postcard.
Absolutely.
And, these kind of projects, maybe they're small, maybe they don't seem like much, but I think they are so much more valuable than all the social media, all the Substacks in the world.
I absolutely agree with that.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Are you already preparing the second book?
Of course.
Okay.
So in September is kind of my closing date. So all the stories that I have until September will go into book 2. This is book 1. And then book 3 and book 4 and so forth.
Okay. So it's kind of an annual thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, because also the membership you pay annually. So that means that people sign up for a yearly membership. And I thought, well, then I have to do a book yearly. But the good thing about all this thing that takes so much time from me and is so labor intensive, the best thing is that I feel I have to do it because these people are giving me money.
Okay.
I have to be grateful to them because they are. So I have this urge that whenever I publish something, the next day I feel like I have to publish again. I have to do something with these people, and I'm really happy to do it because that pushes me again to create something that I would never do if a client asked me, because they are all my stories, they are all my thinking.
Yeah. That's so different. That's true.
Right. So for instance, today I'm working tonight these days on this story about Frederic Dart. I don't know if you know.
Yes.
It's a French writer. Do you know?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Amazing. I thought that nobody knows of it. Because the guy is very prolific. He wrote like 400 books, but they are very difficult to translate from French because he used a lot of slang and invented one. So I'm thinking, okay, I have to make a story about him because how can you write 400 books? It's like you have to write every day a lot.
Every day a lot. That's true.
In the 50s, in the 60s, no computers. Everything is like typewriter.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a story about it. And this is the way I kind of absorb things from, wherever I see or I find, and then I make a story out of it. And with the story, I normally try to think, okay, how will this story serve the people that will read it? Like they will inspire them to write more or to work more, or they will inspire them to, do things that they would not do otherwise. So yeah, that's a bit the goal, the hidden goal or the backstage goal of the Mundo Mendo is that.
Okay. And I mean, it's hard probably, but do you have a favorite story, favorite post or drawing?
Yeah, there is one. So last year we were in Spain, and it was the first time that my son, who is 27, and he lives around the world, and he barely comes to Japan. And my daughter, who is 6, and they would never spend much time together. So we all went to Spain together, my wife, my daughter, and my son. And on page 220, with this story.
Okay. Would you
We,
be kind to read it?
oh
Would you be
gosh,
kind to read it?
uh, I can read you the first 2 pages.
Okay. Okay.
This summer, this summer we went to Spain and had a holiday with a complete family for the first time. My son is a busy artist and music producer who moves around a lot and hasn't got a fixed address. Because of that and COVID, his half sister hasn't seen much of him. They only met briefly a few times. With the excuse of visiting their abuela, the grandma, we met in Madrid and spent a month together. I was so nervous before the trip. I was constipated for a week. How will it go? Will they get along for longer periods of time? Will my wife begin being as understanding as usual? I was anxious. One of them will hate being together. And, it's us walking around Spain, Salamanca, my hometown. And yeah, that's kind of my favorite story because it really is a document in time of something that happened. And not all stories are like that. There are more. Some of them are more like thoughts, and some of them are more about illustration or the careers or something. But this one is the more personal one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe if you want, I can tell you another back goal of the whole Mundo Mendo. Why I'm doing this,
Sure.
and that is, as I said before, I'm an old guy. Like I'm already close to the 60s.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and that made me think a lot. Like, okay, if I keep drawing another 20, 30 years, maybe 40 if I'm lucky, for clients, what am I leaving behind? When you make something for clients, maybe they send you a sample, if it's a magazine or a book or something like that, but you don't leave much behind, a bunch of digital files because I draw digital. So I thought I want to leave something for my kids and for my grandchildren and for, other generations, something that will survive me. The same way that if you go to Reina Sofia, the museum, or El Prado in Madrid, and you see a Picasso or a Velázquez, you say, this is a Picasso. And Picasso died a long time ago, but still, he's there. And the same way I thought, okay, I'm not Picasso, I don't want to be Picasso, but I want to have something that when I die, people say, this is a Luis Mendo book. And this is my humble, small way to do that.
Okay. Oh, that's very nice. That's very
why
nice. Yeah.
Mundo Mendo exists.
Yeah. I actually find it very, very interesting, especially in the world we live in today. As you said, every kind of relationship with social media is love and hate from both sides. And you have to post because in a way you get exposure, even though that exposure is minimal nowadays. It was so different. Like
if you get some, if you are lucky to get some.
Yes. I mean, I fight it with every day. Yeah. I fight with it every day on my Type Foundry page. And you post work to actually, have people see what you do. And then 40, 50,000 like followers, but then like 50, 100 of them see your work, which is, disheartening and actually makes me like, why am I doing this?
Exactly.
But yeah, it's such a love and hate relationship. Yeah. So I love what you do, and I love this part. But you also do a kind of introduction to other artists on the Illustrated, right?
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
That's a little thing I have on the side. I haven't done it in a couple of months, and I should do it. So because I smoke. So when I smoke is when I do social media.
Oh, okay.
And I follow lots of illustrators mainly, and so I always see talent coming in front of me, people that I think are really good. And because I was an art director for 20 years, so I kind of develop an eye for who is good and who has potential. I think, this person, this is going to be a great talent. Or this is like, he has 100 followers and he has amazing work. And I think these people needs more attention. So I have this domain name, theillustrated.org. And I thought, I'll use it for that. They are the illustrated. You know, the illustrated in the old way of meaning of the word. The persons who are illustrated are people who are have studied something. And they know more than us. So for me, these are the ones that know more than me. And
Okay.
so it's very simple. It's just a newsletter I do, and it's free. And I just send to, I hope, many art directors. But it's, many people say, "Oh, can you put my work?" And I said, no. I have to choose it. So
Oh,
just
okay.
send it to me. Send it to me. If I like it, I will use it. But I'm very critical. I'm very sorry. I'm
Okay.
super critical. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
only maybe every post I will do 3 or 4 illustrators, and I just highlight them and I say, okay, this guy I think is great, or this woman. This is the Instagram and this is the website. Go have a look, and
Oh,
please
okay.
hire them if you have a job, because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So this is
And
very simple.
okay. And on that note, what would you advise to young designers, to those who are maybe just beginning? I mean, there's so many talented people out there. How can they actually get in front of,
Yeah,
art directors and newspaper directors and everything? How can they make a living out
yeah.
of the illustration?
So I thought about this very deeply through the years of career, because we keep saying that Instagram exposure, get in front of, get seen. And I think that is totally not relevant anymore. It's about value. So I see many illustrators, many in Japan, and they draw all like anime, or, they draw these superheroes or anime characters, and they do it very well. And I say,
Okay.
listen, this is no value unless I am an anime publisher. Nobody else will have value for this. Like, the value in it is very little. But if you use your skill, your drawing skills, to draw something else, or to draw a different subject, or to draw, with anime style, maybe you can draw famous people or politicians. I haven't
Okay.
seen that much. Like, do something with it that it becomes valuable. And searching the value in your work is super important. It's like, I think it's the only thing that should be in people's heads, like develop as an artist and create some kind of value. And it could be anything, like you could be a painter and maybe your value is that you create these paintings with mainly one color, and they fit very well in people's living rooms, because if they have the couch is purple and you make a purple painting, it will work. So, that is value. And it doesn't mean that you have to be a traitor to yourself and do something that you don't want. Precisely the opposite. Do something that you want, but try to find the value in it. So
Okay.
this is what I would say to all young people starting: is like, try to find your value. What is you can bring to the table? And I remember hiring, when I was an art director, I would hire a photographer, because he was just very young and he just came out of the photo school in Sweden. And I bumped into his work in Tumblr, I think it was, and I thought, this guy has such a fresh eyes on looking at the world. I will put him and bring him to the Netherlands and put him to work for a client, and let's see what he does. And that was his value. His value was fresh eyes, young guy from Sweden, a village in Sweden that very small. So I thought, come to Amsterdam, come take some photos. And this is what I think we should be doing. Also, on the art director side, the same thing. Like, don't try to follow trends or to follow. Do your homework. Do your bloody homework. You have to do research and to find, not these people that put on social media, I'm looking for an illustrator. What the? You are a very bad art director if you say that. You're very bad. It's like, I'm looking for someone who does my homework. You wouldn't say that if you were 10 years old. Your mom would kick you in the ass,
Absolutely.
right? It's like, come on, man. Oh, do you know some nice font for this project? It's like, what? Do your homework. Keep an eye on foundries. Like I did it. Buy books. Read the blogs. That's what you should be doing as an art director. And I know that they will say, yeah, we have so much work and the deadlines. But can I be honest? Can I be honest? If you allow me to be honest, Alan, in this
Absolutely.
podcast,
Absolutely. Please do.
I think we spend so much time in bullshit nowadays. Like social media is total bullshit. It's a waste of time. And I can see it because I see that my Instagram and my newsletter as well. People look at it on weekdays, not on the weekend, not at night, in working hours. That means that people are not working; they are doing bullshit. Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, you know, and it's so depressing. It's like, dude, what are you doing? This is the time that you should be doing the work. So that tells me that we have become very comfortable and we think, oh, the whole AI thing is based on that. It's like, oh, you click a couple of buttons and it's done. You don't need to learn. You don't need. And I'm so sorry, like, no, you cannot learn the guitar by watching 20 minutes of YouTube. Sorry. You have to put
Totally
in the
agree.
hours. You cannot learn to draw if you don't put the hours. You have to draw at least 25,000 bad drawings before the first good drawing come out. And this is the way. This is the only way. And
Yeah.
I'm really big believer on this. And that's why I think that it's good the education that my child is getting here is like, do things well, do things properly, and then good things will come out of it. I think it's
Okay.
very important. So that's also how I try to approach my work, like put in the hours. And if they don't pay you, then say no. Or say yes, and then create something that will help you next. Like, I remember making this little drawing for a brand, and I tried to do it as good as possible, and the brand was paying really very, very little. But after 7 years, I checked, and that drawing has given me so much money in license because many other brands wanted it, or somebody wanted for T-shirts and you get so much money out of it because it's well done within my limitations, but it's well done. And it's worth it. If you make fonts, because you make fonts, if you do it shitty and quickly and, half with AI, probably they will sell maybe a couple, but it's no way to build a business. There's no value.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I absolutely love what you said. I mean, it's my pain when I go on social media and I see all these people like saying, oh, I need a logo designer. I need a website designer. I need an illustrator for this project. And I'm like, why are you saying that? Even like, why are you publishing a post about it? And, this is such a good thing because I've seen so many of those posts. And back in even 5 years ago, if you would write that on social media, people would tell you, like, go and do your research, do your stuff, like find an illustrator.
It's not that difficult nowadays. You can find it.
Not difficult. I mean, we have all the tools. We have all the technology possible. We live in a, good age where everything is available. Yeah. Yet there's so many clients, so many art directors, so many people who are saying, oh, I need this. Do you know someone? I mean, it's good to recommend, but come on. It's like...
if you're a client, someone who is into, I don't know, saucepan making or building lamps or something, maybe. But if you're an art director, it's really bad. Anyway, I think that it is very important that we love what we do. So when I was an art director, I really loved it. And I loved looking at portfolios. And I wasn't very good at photography, for instance. It was not my forte. But I made an effort to learn about photography. And I talked to photographers and, I asked them, like, what makes a good photo? And I tried to learn with it. And every time that I saw a good photographer on Instagram back in the day, I would just go and follow the people he followed or they followed, in that way that I would just connect with people that I think, okay, he thinks is good. That means that the other guy or the other woman is great. So that is it takes time. But, it's Instagram. It's like better than looking at stupid dancing videos. It's better to
That's true.
It's fun. So, yeah.
I love that thing.
Oh,
Absolutely. I mean, I really this is an amazing conversation we are having, and I don't really want to talk about AI. It's
we
kind of
can.
something
Okay.
that would ruin the conversation.
Yeah.
I know your point of it, and um, I have pretty similar opinion about it, what you wrote on your website and about all of it. But I actually want to touch on something that we talked a bit before recording this. Do you think that all of this technology and all of the AI development, let's call it that way, is actually making people do less stuff online and do more of the gatherings, do more of the print work,
Hmm.
publish more books, publish more magazines? You mentioned that in Japan. Do you think that?
Yeah. So I was telling you before we started recording. So I think
Yes.
I will prepare. I just read this morning that in Japan the run of magazines is becoming smaller and smaller. So the amount of copies they sell is smaller and smaller every month. For 5 years, it's been dropping. So people are not buying magazines, paper magazines. So the direct conclusion, everybody's like, oh, everybody's going online. But no, the thing is, the homemade paper zines, magazines made by people, sold between friends, and is growing exponentially. In Japan, is huge. So, we had the Tokyo Book Fair, which is a big fair for these kind of magazines, also for
Yes.
publishers, but it's for art books. And I participated in 5 or 6 editions. And I remember the first one I went to, it was so small. And it kept growing. And every year was bigger and bigger. And now they are like super big. They had to do 2 editions a year because
Oh,
it was too big.
wow.
So they're doing now one next weekend, I'm going, and another one in January. And at the same
Okay.
time, there are many smaller festivals also for scenes, for illustrators, for handmade things. So people that do crafts, lots of them. So it's growing because, if you go to these fairs, you talk to everybody, you talk to the maker. So you are in front of this little table with books, comics, magazines, photography, whatever. And you can talk to them like, why did you take these photos? And why did you make these drawings? And, oh, you like, cats with big boobs. And why is that? And you can talk. And there is such a beautiful beauty in that contact that we don't have online, despite everything. So I think that, yes, the more we go digital, the more we will appreciate handmade and tactile.
Yeah.
That's really good. That. And another thing is that, we are going to talk about AI, which I'm fine with it. I think that we should just remember that it's to make the laundry. It's not to design the clothes for you. It's to wash them and iron them and, do all the shit that you don't want to do. It's to vacuum your floor. That's what you want the robots to do.
Yes.
If you don't want it to do the creative work, don't ask him to do it. If there is no demand for AI to create artwork, they will stop doing it because there is no money in it. So it's just up to us to decide. No, why would I ask the computer? It does, everything it does is ugly anyway. But
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
for the
absolutely.
boring work. So I used AI on Mundo Mendo to because I have so many, I have to all the new members, make sure that they pay, who paid, who didn't. Okay, this guy I have to send a book. So I just program it that it sends me a notification that this person has paid, this is his address or her address, and you have to send a book. And I have it in
Okay.
my inbox. So this is what AI should be for this bullshit. And fill spreadsheets, which that
Yeah,
is good.
with the
I-
numbers and with everything.
I'll let the
So
robot do
true.
that because that's what they are good at. And all the other applications that they are coming up with, I think is bad. So I don't know if you are a bit into this AI thing, but you have the tools now that they code for you. So you can ask
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
the
There's a lot of them.
yeah. So I used it, for instance, to improve my website because I couldn't pay a coder. I can do it myself. So I thought I can learn CSS and to code, but to be honest, it's not my thing. I would prefer to draw. So I just sit down with Claude Code and I will just say, okay, that letter, it has to be Garamond italics and a little bit smaller and a bit more space between the letters. The kernel has to be over open. And the thing does it for me. And this is what you should use it for, I think. For this kind of bullshit work that is, even the programmers will hate to do it because it's like
Yes.
boring for them, So I think that this is the future of the AI, like what we should use it for these kind of things. Catalog my
Yeah.
books, do the things that I don't want to do. And the drawing, man, please.
Yeah.
Or the
No, I
writing.
absolutely.
The writing.
Yeah.
I double check that I didn't make any typos, fine. But don't double check the way I write things because it's like,
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
your job. It's not your job. It's mine. That's why I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I agree with that, and how you compared it with a modern calculator
Yeah.
and the story where you say give the same prompt to a different AIs, you will get pretty much the same response.
Story.
But if you do it with 5 writers, 5 movie directors, 5 creatives, you will get such a different stories from each one of them.
Yeah.
And that's what we humans are here for. And I love that part, absolutely.
Well, it's also the connection. I don't know if you know this documentary of Walt Disney made a documentary because they were doing, I think, Fantasia, the movie.
Okay.
And they wanted to promote it, so they made some movies. And there was this little movie where they took 5 artists from the Disney factory and they took them outside in California and they chose one tree and they had to draw the tree, everyone in different ways, like their own way.
Okay.
And of course, they made 5 different paintings, completely different. And, they were all working for Disney. So you would think they do the same, but it's not the case.
Yeah.
Why? Because the important connection, the important differentiator was the connection between the person and the drawing. So every person would make a different drawing. And this is something that AI would never be able to replicate. You can tell him, like, oh, I want a dramatic tree or something. But still, it's the machine designing and it's going to be cold because it's a machine. It's zeros and ones. And it will always tend to do the common denominator, the average, the most boring thing. So this is the beauty of humans, is that we have the power of connection. And again, I'm not against AI as long as it keeps doing the spreadsheet and making my laundry. And, we have a robot that cleans our floor. That's great. That's what it should
good.
be.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to vacuum? I hate vacuuming. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I have kept you for quite a long time, and honestly, I could do it for like 3 more hours.
I'm happy to.
Yeah. Okay. But I want to ask you. Well, I actually wanted to read one part of your story, if I may, which was one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I think a lot of artists will find themselves in this one. It's from this year. It's called An Eternal Fight.
Yeah.
And it goes, okay. Don't let them tell you good things come easy. Even for those of us longer in the game, there are moments where we fight with a drawing or a series thereof, as it's my case now. It's living in a constant misery, a always present sense of dread, a dark cloud that keeps pissing rain on you until you get the results you want.
Yes.
I love that part because
so dark.
It's dark, but it explains so well, like that even people who are, as you said, 20, 30 years of experience, we do still struggle with work, and it's not like as easy as it seems to other people, because you publish stories very often and someone would think like, oh, this is so easy for him, and yeah, he draws and writes these things and it must be easy. But we still do struggle, as maybe even more than the people who are just starting, right?
Maybe, yeah. Especially if you have a little bit of a name, it's like the line is so high, like the level is so high that you think, okay, I cannot do this shitty thing because then they will write me off. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is struggling, but again, I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just is this is like, I don't ask me to do anything. Do you know there is
Anything
this
else, right?
Spanish actor, Fernando Fernán Gómez, and
Okay.
he's a very famous Spanish actor, and he's really good, right, as an actor. And there is this famous thing online, where a video where he was in a party and there was somebody who said, "Oh, I admire you so much. I admire you so much." And he turns around super angry and he says, "Why do you admire me? Stop admiring me." And he was posed this question on the TV program, like, "Why were you so angry at this man? He was just loving your work." And he said, "Well, I was angry because I cannot do anything. I just can do acting. And that's it. So I cannot even drive a car. Why people admire me? I'm nothing. I'm just an actor. That's the only thing I do." I know he was lying because he's a great writer too. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
the fact is that indeed, like, don't ask me anything. I'm very bad at things with sport, things with my body. I'm terrible. Dancing, terrible. I cannot drive. Don't have a
Okay.
driving license. I cannot cook well. The only thing I do is a bit of stories and drawing and a bit of design, but that's it. And, I think that so many people that start today and they are young and they think, "Oh, I'm not as good as Luis Mendo or any other name, feel any other name." You will actually, if you dig a little bit, you will see that actually you're more able than me. You are younger. You probably can drive. You probably can do jump over your head 20 times. I can't. You know, Everyone has their own talent and their own thing. And you just have to see it and use it and
Yes.
incorporate it in your work. If you're going to do design or drawing or whatever it is you do, maybe take it in it. Like, I know this guy who drew sports shoes, like sneakers, and he was good at it because he loves shoes and he loves sport. That's it. That makes you a master on sneakers, and that is fantastic. And that I would recommend you to look inside. The style is inside, the power is inside, the value of your work is inside you, and just look inside. What is it? What you like, and you know, that's what I think people miss in the search of a style or the search of what do I find the value. Just look inside, not outside.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I said I have renovations in the
I
building.
can
Can you hear
hear
them?
it.
Okay, so I will go with one last question because
Yes.
it gets so loud at some points. Um, what I'm sure you spend a lot of time with your daughter,
Yeah.
and what advice would you give her? Well, she's maybe 6 right now, right? Maybe too young.
Yeah.
But in a couple of years, what advice would you give to her from all the things you've learned?
Yeah, I actually made, like, one of the chapters in book one is that letter to my daughter. I think it was in book one. Was it in book one? Maybe
I think
I'm
so,
confused.
yes.
Yeah. Uh, you know, I wrote it very much thinking that she's growing up in Japan, which is a country that is not nice to women, and there is a lot of perverts around, and also the patriarchal system is very strong. So I kind of wrote it from that lens, telling her, like, you are valuable, you can do whatever you want, you can achieve so many things. Don't let them tell you that you are little or less because you're a woman or because you're half Japanese, half Spanish. So that would be what I would tell her, is a message of strength. And also, like, I know that many groups are oppressed. Many, like women, homosexuals, trans, you name it, and so much oppression. And I think it's a matter of going like this to the oppressor, and even not saying anything is enough. Like, just like silence is many times better, because there are so many idiots around the world, and what they are searching is for response. And yeah, you want to fight. And I was like, no, your value is so small that I don't want even to fight you. So I would say to my daughter, resist that and be above that. When they go low, you go high, as Michelle Obama said.
Okay,
So
that's lovely. Thank you.
yeah.
Well, thank you for this amazing interview.
My pleasure.
I really want to catch up at some point once again to continue this conversation. That would absolutely be lovely. Thank you for taking your time from your family, from your work to talk to me and to be on the show. It's definitely a pleasure, and I loved every second of it.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. I hope that somebody, had fun listening or found something interesting or inspiring. And thank you for giving us the time and the platform. And I hope that you have a lot of success because your podcast is really fun. I really enjoy it. So
thank you. Thank you
good
so
luck
much.
with your renovation as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you, Luis. And yeah, bye-bye, everyone.